Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for July 13th, 2024, where each week I take a look at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. I ask you to bear with me for any missed articles and a lack of, graphics and anything special this week. May look like I'm on vacation, but I actually have temporarily relocated due to an extended power outage due to Hurricane Beryl. In fact, it looks like I may not get my power back on in my home for another week, and considering I live in southeast Texas, yeah, screw that. I'm in a hotel somewhere. Unfortunately, I'm in a hotel with a family, so, I'm sitting in the car right now. Anyway, with that, let's begin with computer and console role-playing game news. It looks like former Piranha Bytes members Bjorn Pankratz and Jennifer Pankratz have created Pithead Studios. While they do not possess Piranha Bytes' former IP, it looks like they will be focused on indie titles, and it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Then, Veritas is set to release on July 22nd on the PC. There is a demo available on Steam. Sequel to Prodigal, it has you exploring the castle of the God of Shadows in a fantasy world. It looks like it'll be a 2D top-down retro-style action RPG title. Tales of Fablecraft is set to hit early access on July 23rd. There is a demo available. It looks like a virtual tabletop RPG set within the world of Mythos, with integrated video chat and battle maps, and has a free base game with a starter adventure. Natsumon is set to get a Western release, targeting the Switch and the PC. It looks like it'll hit North America and Europe on August 6th. Set in a rural Japanese town, you play the son of a circus ringleader. It'll be an open-world-style, general life sim-style game. Deathbound is also set to release for August. In fact, set for August 8th. It will target the PC, PS5, and the Xbox Series X/S. It'll feature a medieval world with a more advanced past and let you absorb the essences of fallen warriors. It looks like it'll feature Souls-like gameplay. Rogue Trader of Void Shadows is set to release on September 24th, a DLC to Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. It'll offer about 15 hours of new gameplay, a new romanceable companion. Also for September 24th, Greedfall 2, The Dying World will begin its early access release. Sequel to Greedfall, of course, the early access period will include the first chapters of the main quest. The Thaumaturge is getting a physical release. It'll target the PC, PS5, and the Xbox Series X/S for Q4 of this year. Abyss Fantasia, set for release in 2024, an indie fantasy RPG. It features a young girl with a lost past who heads into the abyss at the edge of town looking for the secrets within. Touhou's Spell Carnival will come west later this year. It'll target the PS4, PS5, and the Switch. A tactical RPG set in Gensokyu. It'll have you battling for shrine cards and include bullet hell elements in a nod to the main series. Hollow Home is set for sometime in 2025. It looks to be inspired by Disco Elysium, and it will be an isometric narrative RPG focused around a war drama about a teenager in an occupied city. Sigma Star Saga is set for release on the PC and console sometime in 2025. Originally a Game Boy Advance space shooter RPG, it'll also get a Game Boy Advance compatible repro cart release. It was originally released way back in 2005. Death End Request, Code Z, looks to be getting a Western release next year. Latest title in the Death End Request series. It'll target the PS4, PS5, and the Switch. It'll actually hit Japan first sometime in September of this year. It'll switch up the gameplay of the series and turn into a more turn-based roguelike, or at least for combat. Heaven Burns Red will get a Western version. It is a free-to-play turn-based RPG and has been available in Japan for a few years now on mobile and PC. Set in a future Earth, it has you sending girls with special talents to fight a hostile life form. As far as actual releases go, Touhou New World got a new DLC. Gensokyu Dreaming will include a new storyline, new stages, and a new playable character. Or actually, it looks like multiple new player characters. Anyway, Kaku, Ancient Steel, is an open-world action RPG adventure that mixes exploration, puzzles, and dynamic combat, playing a boy tasked with restoring balance to the land. Nightess is a party-based JRPG featuring 3 mercenaries who roam a kingdom looking for work, whom the king sees as a possible way to keep the peace. Dustland Delivery is a post-apocalyptic survival business simulator with RPG elements, where you scour the wastes, complete missions, and grow your trading empire. Then there's Nevergrind Online, a team-based RPG with online co-op, and is set up with a multiplayer blobber dungeon crawler. The Tomb of Corruption has you exploring procedurally generated voxel dungeons, customizing weapon skills, unlocking skills, upgrading armor, and so forth. Moncon is a family-friendly rhythm RPG where you attend a convention filled with social monsters. It has you trying to use your conversation skills to survive. Horticulture is a cute casual life sim where you are summoned by mysterious gnomes to restore a lost garden. You build a garden up while attracting monsters. Spellboy is an action dungeon crawler where you master various spells as a mage in order to conquer various dungeons. Spiritoke, I don't know how to pronounce that, Spiritoki, is a roguelike turn-based RPG where you gather various treasures to boost your party and deal with monsters that become stronger with each step you take. Lux is a 2D RPG adventure platformer where you play a girl who has discovered a magic lantern in her attic. It is free to play. Finally, there is a Sega CD-era RPG, Avey, that has been released onto PC and mobile platforms. A 16-bit RPG from the early 90s. It was originally re-released on iOS in 2008, and it will now hit Steam and Android as well. It takes place in a low-technology world where the prince is soon to be married. With that, let's take a look at tabletop role-playing game news. It looks like Kyle Brinks, former executive producer of Dungeons & Dragons, who famously stated that people like him just couldn't leave the hobby fast enough, among other things, has finally fulfilled his own ideas. Not quickly, he was there for about a year plus. Sometime over the last few weeks, he seems to have been has relinquished his position and his place within the D&D hobby. As little details are available regarding the specifics, it's hard to tell who initiated this change or whether this is just part of a general turnover regarding the conversion of D&D into a microtransaction video game-based model. Voluntary or not on his part, I'm certain he is quite happy to finally be practicing what he preached. It looks like BackerKit is a funding campaign for Moonbeam, which looks to be a new live streaming service focused on the tabletop role-playing games, so it should be interesting. To that end, Monte Cook Games is offering a Cypher System Creator Fund to help promote streamers on that Moonbeam service. Onward towards minor and PDF releases, we'll start with Masters of Spell and Sword for Pathfinder 1st Edition. It is a collection of archetypes that are all spellcasting warriors. Rogue Genius Games has a Dream Magic, which combines some elements of illusion and divination, including, and it just covers various spells. It's available in Pathfinder 1st and 2nd Edition, Starfinder, and 5th Edition versions. Remarkable Races Unhinged. The Icosian is a Pathfinder 1st Edition playable race from the land of Redoma, as well as the Cubomancer class to go with it. There are also feats, creatures, and magic items. Raging Swan Press has Dungeon Backdrop, Forbidden Halls of the Nameless Mage, which offers a dungeon under a town built on the ruins of another town. It is available in Pathfinder 1st and 2nd Editions, 5th Edition, OSR, and System Neutral versions. Mediterranean Monsters from Legendary Games is a Pathfinder 1st Edition compatible supplement that details creatures from across the myths and legends around the Mediterranean Sea. Abyssal Terrors is a 5th Edition compendium that details the various ocean and eldritch horrors associated with it, complete with tools and add-ons. Encounters in the Archives is an encounter table for D20 systems that offers randomized encounters for a library setting with creatures, puzzles, NPCs, treasures, etc. Celestial Realms, Divine Forces, and Heavenly Beasts is a 5th Edition offering that details a plane of light and justice, offers subclasses, magic items, celestial and fiendish traits, fiendish transformations, and monsters. Two Taverns has a set of adventures for 5th Edition. There's Salt and Sorrow, The Crimson Folly, and The Wandering Mount. Meanwhile, Greedy Gorgon Press has 2 5th Edition adventures up this week, Attack on Mirefall and Blood on the Trail. Grim Press has another few entries in the Cavern Crawl series of 5th Edition adventures. There's Cavern Crawl 48, Spinning Web, number 49, Cursed Castle, and number 50, Maze of Flames, rather. Cursed Inheritance is a 5th Edition adventure dealing with a city where a curse has been afflicting only dwarves, gradually turning them into stone. It is hereditary, and the party is basically tasked on to find items for a ritual cure for at least one person. Polite Society is a zine for 5th Edition that focuses on thieves, scoundrels, and the like, offering rules, charts, tables, and character options, etc. Comprehensive Alchemy System for 5th Edition is what it says on the tin, a crafting system that offers rules designed to be simple with effects, lore, and so on to craft alchemy components, or to craft alchemy potions from components. The Dragon's Horde, number 44, offers magic items, spells, monsters, more for 5th Edition like it does every issue. Level Up Gate Pass Gazette, issue 25, offers material for advanced 5th Edition, this time with cultural gear, a villain spotlight on a walking monolith, and various spring holy days. Undying Corruption is a 5th Edition offering that details a dozen new subclasses, a new mounted commander class, 6 new races based on Korean culture, various new monsters based on Korean myth, many maps, original villains, and so on. Hero's Call to Adventure is a campaign launcher for low-level parties for 5th Edition and offers 6 new adventure and various character options, magic items, monsters, etc. Underworld BG3, Madness and the Magi, is another of the retro video game-inspired offerings compatible with 5th Edition DCC. Survive This and system-neutral versions. This one deals with a dungeon built under a swamp. The Wandering Tavern is a system-neutral with optional 5th Edition stats, Studio Ghibli-inspired setting that encompasses a floating city, includes many maps, and you'll watch me juggle around, NPCs, magic items, spirits, and so forth. Table Knight Studios has Epic Heroes Encyclopedia Volume 4 Druid that offers material to play 5th edition Druids up to 30th level. They also have Masters of Death, which presents 3 new classes for 5th edition: the Death Knight, Vampire Spawn, and Lich Apostle. The Temporal Codex is a collection of 50 spells for the Chronomancer class for 5th edition, available separately. Vaults of Tenebris is available in 5th edition and Shadowdark versions. It includes various magic items, consumable boons with lore, ways to make cursed items, a new Wand of Wonder table, and the Disenchanter monster. Orphan and Bookworm has Breath of Life, the Beguiler, a class for 5th edition that offers a reimagining of the 3.5 class of the same name, with class options, new spells, feats, equipment, magic items, and example NPC. Arcana Check has a few classes for 5th edition, each detailing its own offering. There is the Shaman and the Warden, each with its own subclasses. Rella's Guide to Stylish Combat offers some subclasses for 5th edition, which offer a focus on movement and fluidity in combat, inspired by combat in various video games, basically action RPGs. Onyx Path has Squeaks in the Deep Compendium, which covers the realm of the Underneath and the Lagomorphs for Pugmire and similar systems. Gargoyle Keep is a 5th edition adventure that basically looks like a cozy classic dungeon crawl. Thrones and Bones, Troll of the Town, is an adventure for Thrones and Bones, which uses the Black Flag system compatible with Tales of the Valiant. It details what is presumed to be a troll sneaking into a city at night. Elven Tower has a few offerings. There is Tower of Many Doors, suited for both for D&D and Shadowdark, and then Tomb of Princes, a system-agnostic brochure adventure. Temple of the Weaver is a Shadowdark dungeon that imprisons a shroud spider and has many dungeon areas, new magic items, creatures, etc. Book of Shadows is another supplement for Shadowdark, as well as other OSR systems. It includes a skill system, 5 different horrors, and 5 one-shot adventures. Baradel in the Freezing Vault is an OSR-compatible adventure set in a village that was hit by unusually cold weather as a punishment for the inhabitants after the death of a wizard who lived in town. Wow, okay. The Book of Hexcrawl Adventures is a collection of material meant to compile everything necessary for making wilderness adventures, and although designed for OSR-style systems, it can be used with about anything. A Fistful of Goblins is an OSR-style RPG that features a Weird West-style setting, except with goblins. It appears to be used with Black Flag as well. Old Skull Masquerade. Sorry about that. Yeah, the pressure's going up in here. I'm going up and down. I'm feeling kind of... Yeah, anyway. Old Skull Masquerade offers a new class, the Masker, designed for use with BX-style systems, detailing a Masquerade-themed chaotic class with touches of cosmic horror. Dirk and Tallow is a dark fantasy RPG with a rules-light system in which you play hunters who deal with blighted, unholy creatures. It includes a blight system, which can be managed to offer new tactics, a spell system where you can create effects on the fly, and a dice pool system. Maze's Fantasy RPG, Module 24, The House of Doors, is an adventure that deals with a party summoned into a dangerous magical dwelling by a trickster fiend. Grit Fantasy RPG is a rules-light system with a focus on one-shots and short campaigns as well as convention games. It is meant to be simple and easy to manage with a D12-based system. Rapid Fire Realms is a very brief, easy-to-use RPG system where all the rules needed are on one page of a document, only a few pages long. Jarkoon Revised is a slightly revised version of a Sword and Planet-style genre rule set that already assumes you have grounding in both role-playing in general and the retro space fantasy genre, so it doesn't have to go over that stuff. Tailweave is another system available with a player's guide that details all player-facing information, the Game Master's Guide that offers advanced game mechanics, and information on creating stories within the system. Vampire Vania's RPG is a core rules volume featuring a rules-light action RPG, action horror RPG inspired by a certain vampire hunting retro video game. There's also the Clock Tower, a stage designed for that RPG suited for level 1 to 2 characters. Werewolf, the Apocalypse 5th Edition Storyteller's Toolkit, has resources and rules for running a variety of scenes, spirit characters to learn gifts from, various ideas for stories, as well as a sample story ready to run. Delta Green, Dead Drops, is a collection of 5 Delta Green scenarios, a Meridian, a Victim of the Art, From the Dust, Present, and Jack Frost, all as well as a new agency. Cross Time is a fate-based system that has the players playing people from across time and space who join one of a few time-traveling factions seeking to remake history in their own desire. Catalyst Game Labs has Battletech, a Recognition Guide Volume 2, Ill Clan. It collects Inner Sphere and Clan battle maps from the Ill Clan era and is a companion to the first volume. Rogue World, a Clement Sector adventure, is an adventure for the Cepheus game engine where the crew is to take a scientist to a rogue planet to study it as it flies through the sector. Finally, there is Soul System, a sourcebook for the Expanse RPG for Age System that details the governments, corporations, and organizations within the star system humanity originated around. And now let's take a look at crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And this time, a video game RPG, a single video game RPG caught my eye. Tako no Hamitsu is a GBA-inspired retro RPG. It features 6 heroes with octopus companions. I guess that's where the taco comes from. Setting out to save the world. This is a fully functional demo available. Onward towards tabletop crowdfunding. It looks like Goodman Games will be bringing the classic Captains of Thracia to 5th edition via original Adventure Reincarnated series, but also 2 Dungeon Crawl Classics. This one's over on BackerKit, and I probably have found it easier and cover more things on BackerKit, but their search function is just hot garbage to me for some reason. I don't know. It's really hard to sort them by when they were released, at least for me. If there's something I'm missing on that, I'll play around with it later. But that's generally why I don't cover a lot of stuff on BackerKit. I need to, because a lot more stuff is using it. Anyway, the Mosidian Temple is looking to get a 5th edition conversion. There's a module already available in Osric format. I think I covered it last week, at least the Osric version. It will be suited for level 6 characters. Invasion of Boran Valley looks to be a 5th edition adventure and region suited for level 1 to 4 characters. It features a set of aberrant parasites that seek to dominate the region. Zrabdos' Prisoner is a one-shot for 5th edition that will be suited as a standalone or plug-in adventure. It will deal with rescuing an inventor from a nefarious wizard. Festival of the Harvest Moon will be a 5th edition adventure starter adventure meant to be beginner-friendly and short. It features an upcoming celebration where the arrival of interesting people from all around is suddenly faced with a Kuotoa attack. Monsoon looks to be a 5th edition settings focused around swashbuckling adventure. It'll be a 600-plus page offering with deck mechanics, new races, various subclasses, regions, moons, spells, creatures, monsters, etc. Dungeons of Chains will be a 5th edition supplement that covers 9 dungeons, each one a puzzle in and of itself, with 10 final bosses among them. Broken Threads Bestiary number 1 looks to be a 5th edition bestiary that features 6 trolls, each one from a different world within the Broken Threads universe. Silk Road Guide to Seafaring will be an historical fantasy offering for 5th edition, covering trade, exploration, ship combat, and more during a time of the Roman Empire and the Han Dynasty. Gateway to Glory, Swamps and Box. I know it's not Box. Anyway, Swamps and whatever will be a 5th edition terrain-based resource. I think Bogs. Bogs is what I meant to write. Anyway, this one will be covering, of course, Swamps and Bogs. There we go. Most Wicked Weirdos. It will be a collection of 30-plus complex NPCs for 5th edition or similar fantasy systems. It looks like it'll conclude that trilogy of releases. Assorted Notes from the Unearthly Archive is to be a collection of 5th edition material, including subclasses, NPCs, items, and spells. A catalog of conditions for 5th edition looks to add a collection of diseases, damage effects, and mutations, critical damage for different damage types, and so on to inflict upon characters during play to help vary things up. Populated Hexes Monthly, issue 36, is another entry into the Old School Essentials and similar OSR-compatible line of zines that will inspire the prior few issues covering the town of Dry Gulch. This issue will continue to look at the ruins and sewers under town. Tome of Essential Horrors for 2 from Necromancer and Frog God Games. Looks to be a monster book with over 100 new creatures for Old School Essentials and similar OSR systems. Creature Featured Quarterly, Volume 13 for OSD and Lamentations of the Flame Princess will provide 16 monsters for use with those systems with stat box, lore, art, virtual tokens, and so forth. Immortals, a role-playing game, White Box, will be an old-school fantasy-style RPG in a swords and sorcery world with the task of having mortal adventurers braving dungeons and grim areas to gain immortality before their time runs out. Berserker is to be a fast-paced, cinematic-style action RPG utilizing the mechanics of Merc Berg as you trying to make your way in the 9 realms inspired by Norse myth as Ragnarok approaches. Tome of Monsters, Horrific Threats will be a collection of monsters and other enemies for Savage Worlds suited for most horror settings. It will include stats, lore, unique mechanics, and weaknesses, etc. Newer role-playing game looks to fund a fancy tabletop RPG with a new universe. It will provide simple rules that aren't necessarily simplified and feature a world where there's a relationship between the peoples and creatures of that world with a long-awaited winter approaching. 5 Acts, The King in Yellow RPG will be a gothic RPG, but feature a concept of unreliable narration. Essentially designed to be played in a single session, the PCs will all have read The King in Yellow and believe themselves to be cosmic royalty, which they may be. Bettin' Bullets looks to be a Western-style tabletop RPG featuring all sort of gunslinging, cowboy-style fun that one can expect. Then there's Neopets, the official tabletop RPG, where you explore the world of Neopets, go on quests, and so forth. I didn't even realize Neopets was still a thing. Anyway, Precious Things, tabletop RPG, is to be an RPG based on a world of toys who come out to life to come to life at night to protect their children from the monsters in the shadows. Spy 2.0 will be funding an RPG inspired by Mission Impossible and Metal Gear Solid set in a modern-day world. You play covert agents with various skills, and it will be a revision of the version released back in 2017. Finally, there's 5-Star Match, a solo tabletop RPG based on pro wrestling. You must build a roster of characters, though the focus is more on booking and promotion than actual wrestling. And with that, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my RPG News Roundup for July 13th, 2024. As always, links will be below. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment on your feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. I'm going to try and get a couple reviews together. I've already got a batch of Let's Plays and such on my secondary channel that I recorded before the hurricane. They're already up. I'm going to see if I can't get any reviews recorded. I know I didn't bring my mic, so my audio is shot, so I'm going to see if I can't make it sound half good. If I can, I'll record some more reviews. Anyway, until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.